Hi guys. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully everybody can hear me, and hopefully everybody has their drink. I haven't poured mine yet. I felt like it would be nice to pour it on camera and show you guys what I am actually having. So let's just go ahead and get started. Yeah, I got a lot to talk about today. So first of all, I talked about what I'm going to be drinking last time, and we're going to be having some Diet Coke. This is Coke Zero, zero sugar. It's very important. And store brand, because thrift is a virtue, of course. So let's go ahead and pour that in. And I'm pouring it in this little pitcher that I have. It's super cute. I'm going to have to talk about that. Oh, good. Everybody can hear me. Good, 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 good. And then my bottle of Jack, of course. Let's pour that bad boy in. So I was thinking about what to actually drink on camera, or what to drink out of, because normally I drink out of these little carafes. They're like a little water carafe, and it even has like the ounces on the side, and like I like to make sure that I drink enough water each day, and it's lemon water. And then I was like, you know what? I have this really cute depression glass decanter, I guess, and it came with like these four little teeny tiny cordial glasses, and I was like, I can take the little decanter, I could pour it into the little cordial glass, and it was time for that. Let's just stick it in and let's go. Okay, so hope everybody's having a good time. I am. So yeah, let me first talk about, just because it's on my mind, the depression glass. I I know that I collect games, like you see that back there. But I collect some other things, and most notably, one of the things that I collect is this pink depression glass. And I first saw it whenever I used to watch Martha Stewart Living back in the 90s with my mother. My mother would tape it because I loved it so much for whatever reason. I really loved Martha Stewart. And my mother would tape it, and then we would watch it together. Like, I'd sit at the coffee table in the living room, and I would do my homework while I was watching Martha Stewart Living. And my mother would sit there, and I remember this one time Martha was going on about something, and it may have even been this depression glass, because maybe that's why it stuck on my mind. But my mother sat there and she goes, "This woman's such a snot, but I can't stop watching." And it always just stuck in my mind. It was always just so it was always just so funny to me. And yeah, I would sit there and I would watch Martha Stewart with my mother all the time growing up, but then whenever I came out to her, what did she say? "I had no idea that you were gay. You gave me no signs. How was I to know that you're gay?" Like, really, woman? Seriously? Okay. But anyway, let's have a drink for that. So, last time, Yoichi Deletes asked me a question on the stream. And and I wasn't able to answer the question properly on the stream. Her question, for those of you who are not aware, she asked me, she said, if you're like stuck on a desert island and you only get one game to play for the rest of your life, but it has to be a game that you hate, what game would you play? What game would it be? And at first I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll cheat and I'll say Dragon Warrior 7. And then I saw a lot of people in the comments were like, ha ha ha, Chrono Cross. And I'm like, oh yeah, Chrono Cross could actually fit. Then I thought about it. And I went through my collection. And I came up with the correct answer. Final Fantasy X-2. Why Final Fantasy X-2? Because, again, replayability value. It has all of the all those different cool job classes, and like back whenever I played, like you can go through it different ways. You can play it it is a classic, and it is an underrated game. It has a turn-based battle system. The job system is amazing. I love the little dress spheres. Yeah, Brother's obnoxious, and there's some other things, but, like, there's all these different chapters that you can go through. There's different secret things to find. If you play it without a guide, it's like there's actually a lot of different stuff to do in the different 5 chapters that you go through. And yeah, if you do every single little thing in those 5 chapters, then it can get pretty overwhelming. Oh my god, I have a donation. I didn't even look at it. Let me see. Jeffrey Wright donates, and he says, "Gonna see how long of a streak I can get of donating daily on your live streams. Glad I could catch you again." Thank you so much, Jeffrey Wright, and I will cheers you. Drink to that donation. Thank you. But yeah, that is what I'm thinking. That is the game that really came to mind because there is just so much to do. If you're going to be stuck playing one game on a desert island, it better be a game that has a lot of replayability. And that one is, that answers the question, And also, job systems. Who doesn't like a good job system? As I famously said, actually, I'm not going to repeat what I famously said in one of my videos. Okay. Another thing that I want to talk about before I start reading comments and, answering y'all's questions and everything else like that is I want to let you guys know that there will be no live stream tomorrow. And the reason for that, so I only started this live streaming this week. And in that way, you all are all my original girls. So, it's the first week. We're all OGs here. Anyway, and we're all learning together. We're all figuring this crap out, because I know I am. I'm barely figuring it out. But anyway, there will be no live stream tomorrow. And the reason for that is because Ken gets back into town tomorrow. Yay! So his plane lands at 4 p.m., so we're more than likely going to go out to eat. We'll probably, eat something and then maybe go out to a bar or just go home and watch TV. We have a bunch of Jeopardy sitting on the DVR that we could watch. We have a Below Deck. The new season of Below Deck started, and I love Below Deck. It's always such a freaking hot mess. So yeah, we have a new season of that to watch. But yeah, I've done it. What is this? Is this number 5? I think it's number 5. So I've done it 5 days in a row. And I think I might need a day off of streaming. Although this is so much fun. Don't get me wrong. This is a freaking blast. I am loving it. But yeah, Ken comes home tomorrow. So my day tomorrow is dedicated to Ken. I have to spend time with Ken. It is what it is. However, that being said, I'll more than likely do a stream on either Saturday or Sunday morning. More than likely Saturday morning, I'll do a stream. And the reason why I want to do it in the morning is because somebody says, please close the door. It's really bugging me. It's become a thing, James A. It's become a thing now that the door has to be in a different location each time. So yeah, I don't know. We will see. But anyway, but Saturday morning, I'll probably do it Saturday morning because a lot of people were saying, oh, I would like to join your stream, but, time zone differences, or, my work schedule, interferes with it. So yeah, I want to do one Saturday morning. That way I feel like people who can't join me more towards the night, will be able to join me in the morning, hopefully on Saturday. So I'm thinking, 10-ish, 10 a.m. That's 10 a.m. Pacific time. Don't forget I'm in Nevada. But also on Saturday, I'm going to be uploading a new top 10. It's going to be a top 10 best RPG of famous franchises. Remember a couple of weeks ago, I did a top 10 list, and it was the Black Sheep video. It was the one where I went through all these famous franchises, and I said, what's the black sheep of that franchise? What's the worst game in that franchise? Well, I'm going to turn that on its head, and now I'm going to look at those exact same franchises, the same ones that I went over in the Black Sheep video, and I'm going to talk about the best game in those franchises. So hopefully it will not be inflammatory, as Gay Statue says. Hopefully people will like it and people will be happy. I always like it whenever people are happy, and this makes me happy. Cheers to that. Cheers to being happy. Another thing. I have a lot, like I said, I have a lot of stuff to talk about. Another thing. Yesterday in the chat, I was talking about how it was like the blind leading the blind, and I was going through all the little live chat setup and figuring out what the hell I'm trying to do. And the one thing that I found with these little badges, and YouTube has these little like standard generic badges. They're like these little circles with like, it almost looks like a little like lightning bolt in it, and they're different colors and all that kind of stuff. And then it was like, you can upload your own badge, and I'm like, I could do that. I could give that a shot. I might be able to upload something. I mean, I can figure out a YouTube thumbnail, for God's sakes. I should be able to figure out this little tiny badge. And guess what? I did! I figured it out! And I uploaded Final Fantasy IV characters in there, and then the little badge changes based upon like how long you're a member for or whatever, and I just thought it was super cute. So I did that. And then the next thing, again, I literally have a list of things I want to talk about. I literally have a list of things. So, sorry about that. The next thing that I want to talk about is my cross stitches. I have mentioned before on the live stream that I do cross stitching. And some of you might not even know what cross stitching is. And it's just another little hobby of mine. My mother taught me how to cross stitch whenever I was very young. Like I said before, on many times, I grew up in Appalachia, for God's sakes, and there wasn't anything to do. So my mother was like, whenever I was a little girl, I used to cross stitch. So she taught me how to. And I'm going to show you just exactly what it looks like, what it is. So these, and I have many. I have probably 20, 30 downstairs framed on the wall. I don't have all those up here with me, but I brought up some that I don't yet have framed, and maybe I'll bring up some of the framed ones in a future live stream. But anyway, let's look at this. So this is one of the cross stitches that I have done. It is, how do I make it go to the camera straight? Okay, it's just grapes, and it's super cute, and I actually have a grapevine in my backyard, and I'm going to hang this in my kitchen. It's super cute, and this is what the back looks like. So yeah, a lot of people who do cross stitch, they're like, can I see the back? And then they judge you. It's a lot of old lady. One time I was cross stitching in the airport, and this woman comes over, she goes, you never really see a man do that, do you? And I was like, no, I guess not. She goes, can I see it? And I'm like, okay, I guess. She picks it up, immediately turns it over, and she starts judging my back. And she's like, you're not really supposed to go over more than like 3 stitches. And I'm like, oh God, are you serious, woman? Like, go away. I'm like, I don't need, give me my cross stitch back. Like, go away. Another one in the same vein that I have is oranges. I actually did this one whenever I had COVID. These cross stitches take forever. Each of these, although they're rather small, I would say they're maybe 6 inches by 5 inches or so, they take 3 months. This one took, I want to say, about 3 months, but I mostly finished it whenever I had COVID-19. I just laid in bed and I did that. So how you cross stitch, just in case you're wondering and you have no clue what this is. You get a cross stitch pattern, and they sell like these little pattern books. And let me find the actual pattern for the ones that there's grapes. Okay, so they sell these little pattern books. Wait, that's pears. Wait, oh, there we go. There's grapes. And then it has like the little pattern on paper, and then you just look at the paper, and then you choose the corresponding color in the key, and that's how you do a cross stitch. So it takes forever. The one that I'm currently working on, let me see if I can't find the there it is. Let's see. Okay, perfect. So the one that I'm currently working on is this. You put it into a little hoop like this, and then you stitch the little thing that you stitch the pattern, and again, there's the back. But yeah. And eventually, whenever I'm done with this one, it's going to look like this. If I could get that without the glare, that would be lovely. It's going to be like a lighthouse at nighttime. So those are some of my cross stitches. And they're just super cute. And I see some of you asking and saying, have you ever thought about, doing a cross stitch of like a video game character or something like that? And I have actually thought about that, and I've seen some patterns of people who do cross stitches of video game characters or of scenes and things like that. It just seems it does seem really nice, but like it's like once I buy a pattern, I'm like, okay, I bought the pattern. I really need to focus on that particular pattern, and I don't have any cross stitch video game patterns, although there are pattern conversion things that you can do. I just don't have any. And it's, they take forever. And a lot of the times whenever something takes that long, I just feel like I'll just buy a poster, But yeah. Okay. The next thing that I want to talk about. Then, my straw fell. You can tell I'm getting a little bit tipsy if I pushed over my straw there. A chrono cross stitch is the way to go. I don't know. Yeah. Oh God, a chrono cross stitch. Could you imagine? Yeah, I would hate stitch it every single stitch. I hate you. Oh, Andre. My friend Andre Powell, he just joined the chat. Hey, Andre, I didn't even know that you knew that I had a YouTube channel, let alone that you joined my chat. I don't remember if I told you that I did or not, but hey, it's good to see you. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is the last thing that I'm going to talk about, I promise. It's the last thing I'm going to talk about until I get to answering some of your comments. Oh, Andre's seen my videos for a few years. Who knew? Well, that's great. That's so... I love it whenever some of my friends join, and it's always so funny because, like, I never tell them that I'm doing these streams. They just kind of pop in, and I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't realize I had that reach. Just kind of interesting. The next thing that I want to talk about, and the last thing that I want to talk about, again, before I get to your comments, is this little... God, I can never get the right thing on camera that I want. Okay, this little Post-it right here. And this is how a top 10 list begins. This little Post-it right there. And last night, as I was getting ready for bed, I just had like a little epiphany in my head about a new top 10 list. And I thought about it, and I thought, wouldn't it be fun to do a top 10 about JRPGs that are set in Japan? JRPGs that actually use Japan as a setting. And yeah, it is kind of like an esoteric, weird thing to talk about, but I was like, I could figure that out. So I went through and I grabbed this little, my little Post-it note, and I started listing out some games. And yeah, so that's the latest top 10 list that I'm going to be starting on. I'm going to start doing the script for that. Okay, I see some people talking about a Discord server. I have mentioned a Discord server before, and I have talked about how I don't really know anything about Discord. I've never really used Discord all that much. I would like to do a Discord. I think that would be a lot of fun. And maybe that's exactly what I'll do for my 40,000 subscriber special, is create a Discord server. I really need to fool around with it and figure it out, because right now it's kind of like when I get on Twitter. I have no idea what's going on. So yeah, I would love to have a Discord server, and I would especially like to have a Discord server because I I have seen you guys talk amongst yourselves. Like, I always just assumed that whenever people were commenting on my videos, they were commenting to me. But I see here that you guys are talking to each other, and you're actually like building up a community, and you are a community, and that makes me so happy, and I really, really, really like that. So, yeah, a Discord community. Oh, Andre says it's vital these days. Discord keeps communities together and easier to get people involved. Hey, Andre, do you know how to set up a Discord server? Can you come over to my house and help me? That would be lovely. Next time you're in town, come over here and help me, because I have no clue what I am doing. Yeah. I think that Chris Hamilton, one of my good friends, knows how to set up a Discord server too, so maybe I can ask him as well. Michael Jalbert says Dragon Quest III had Jaipeng, which was basically Japan. I don't know if that counts. Guess what? It counts, because I have that on my post-it note. What I'm going to do in that top 10 list is split it. I'm going to have half of the games be Japanese inspired, and half of the games be like real world Japan. So something like Dragon Quest III, and Jaipeng would be Japan inspired. We all know that it's really Japan, people. It's Jaipeng, for God's sakes. And then the other ones would be the ones that literally take place in like Tokyo or Japan itself. So yeah. Let's see. What are we talking about? Let's see. Yeah. Would I consider Shenmue a JRPG or an open world? I would consider that kind of a meshing of the two genres, because it does have a lot of JRPG aspects, but it's also open world. It kind of reminds me of like a Xenoblade, where that's like an open world, but it's also a JRPG. I don't think that the two are mutually exclusive. I think that they are. I think that they complement each other very well. Oh, another donation. Let's drink to a donation, viewers. Cheers to you. This is to Matthew Phillips. Cheers. David, you're a likable and a natural on camera. Discord is great to connect with fans and gather helpful talent to grow your channel or your brand. Well, thank you. Maybe I'll set it up before 40,000, and then whenever 40,000 rolls around, I'll be like, you guys already got your special. My God, you have live streams and you have a Discord channel. What more do you want, people? So, yeah, I just think that this is the natural way to grow, and this is just a lot of fun, like I've said. So, and it would be, it would be, I guess it would be a good thing. I just need to set aside a day where I can just figure it out and do it. I don't know when that day is going to be, but hopefully it'll be soon. Let's see where we're at in the comments. Yeah. Nolan Cross said, Twitter is cancer. Everyone is too negative. And I don't really know much about Twitter, but there's enough negativity brewing on YouTube. I don't need more negativity on Twitter. Oh, another donation from Matthew Phillips. Cheers, Matthew Phillips. Thank you. I don't know if you plan to make LiveStream a regular thing, but set a schedule so you don't burn out. Also, chug that Jack. I am. I'm getting to the point, well, not yet, but I'll need a refill. I'm sure I will. Let's see. I would like to do a schedule, but right now I'm just trying to I'm still testing the waters. I'm still figuring things out. You know what I mean? And I'm still having fun with it. So yeah. And you know what? As long as I'm having fun with it, I'm going to keep on doing it. I've said it before, and I said it back during one of my Let's Plays. I said it about a year ago, maybe. And I was talking about doing top 10 lists and doing Let's Plays and doing the channel in general. And I said during the Let's Play, I was like, I'm a full-time teacher that pays my bills. And the second that a Let's Play gets too much or that the channel is something that I don't enjoy, then I won't do it. I only want to do it because I enjoy it, and I still definitely enjoy it, so I still want to do it. It's once where I don't enjoy it that I'll be like, all right, peace out, see ya. But I'm having a blast, so as long as I'm having fun and y'all are having fun, let's keep it up. Another donation from Unfazed. Cheers, cheers, Unfazed. I caught the Chris Crocker reference in today's video. He was from the same town as me and used to hang out at the mall all the time. I love the streams. Very nice. Very good. I'm not entirely sure what the Chris Crocker reference is, but okay, thank you. Okay. Oh, why is my telephone ringer on? Let's turn that off. Did I turn the ringer on or did I turn it off? I don't even know what I just did. Silent. Perfect. I want it on silent. It's normally always on silent. I don't know why. Oh, I know why I had the ringer on. Earlier I was trying to fill up the pool and I had to put my alarm on, and I turned the ringer on to have my alarm go off. Grandma Hairstonell says, "You're hilarious, David. Thanks you for making great videos." Thank you so much. That makes me happy. Oh, let's see. Andrew Ward, have you been playing Bravely Default 2? No, I haven't. I don't have a Switch. I'll be getting a Switch in May for my birthday, and then I will be getting Bravely Default 2, and then I can play it, and then I can talk about it. But as for right now, I am not, I don't have a Switch, so yeah, sorry. Let's see. Mecha Jobo says, "Thanks for the videos, dude. I'd been looking for older RPGs to get me to check out the Shining Force series. Thanks for the content. Keep up the good work." Thank you. And in fact, that is what I like to focus on. Call me nostalgic, call me old, call me, just looking for times past, looking behind me. I don't really care. But I like the older JRPGs. The older JRPGs are my favorite, or at least the JRPGs that are inspired by the older RPGs. My favorite era is the SNES era. Maybe it's because I was a teenager when the SNES was out. I'm sure that, the rose-colored glasses have something to do with it. But that is my favorite era, and that is where my passion is, and that is what I like to focus on the most. So yeah, I'm glad that I was able to get you to check out the Shining Force series. But even so, I mean, there are still a lot of games that are being made today that are inspired by those older games, such as Bravely Default 2, such as, Yakuza Like a Dragon. There are a lot of them out there. And then I see now that a lot of, oh god, I shouldn't be drinking while I'm on screen because now I'm losing my train of thought. but oh, another donation. Here we go. From Brandon Bryant. Cheers. What are your thoughts on Yakuza Like a Dragon? Speak of the devil, I was literally just talking about that. Is it enough of a JRPG for a purist? To me, it's as if you took a dragon... Okay, you know how Dragon Quest games are always fantasy games. They're always stuck in their own fantasy world. They're very kind of cartoony. It's that sort of thing. Yakuza Like a Dragon takes that. They take the core mechanics of the Dragon Quest game. They take the turn-based battle system. They take the job class system. They even have references to it. My God, Ichiban literally comes out and is like, "I play Dragon Quest." Like, he literally comes out and just says it to you. He's like, boom, there it is. To me, it's like a Dragon Quest if it was set in modern day and it had modern graphics. It's like the same thing. You really can't tell them apart. It has a slow start, though. That is the one thing that I would say. And also, what's with the hair? Like, Ichiban was so cute. And then they had to fast forward him and give him that hair. Yeah. Let's see. Miami Sunrise. Hi, David. Are you missing any key Dragon Quest games that you still must get? The only Dragon Quest games that I don't have in my collection would be Dragon Quest 2, 3, and 4 for the NES. Because, and I talked about this last time, because, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate, sometimes you go through hard financial times and you have to sell games that mean something to you. And sometimes you end up selling all 3 games, Dragon Quest 2, 3, and 4, and you only get $45 for them. Yeah, that was fun. Oh, another donation. Thank you from Peter Panda. Cheers, Peter Panda. He goes, $5 for your Switch. Yes, Chrono Cross is a boring RPG. Well, at least somebody agrees with me. Yeah. Oh, another. God, these they're coming in. This is from Eagle Knight 815. Cheers, Eagle Knight. Thank you so much for all of your reviews and videos. I love your stuff, man. Keep on doing the great work. Thank you so much. But yeah, getting back to the Dragon Quest games. Like, you know how it is, you know? I was in college and, you know, I had just come out, and I don't want to tell, like, my coming out story because that's bad. But needless to say, I was in some financial straits at the time after coming out. My parents weren't exactly happy. So I kind of had to sell some stuff, and selling those Dragon Quest games to a coworker of mine was able to buy me food for a week. Anyway, let's move on to some more positive things. Oh, God. Okay, let's see. The Hot Dog Man asks a very good question. Do your students know about your channel? No, they do not. Do I hope that they know about the channel? Do I want them to know about the channel? No, I do not. I do not want to be the scandal of the school, if you know what I mean. I just want to do a job, and I want to do it well, and I want, I don't want to draw attention to myself, and maybe doing these live streams is a bad idea. Maybe it does draw attention to myself. But as of right now, as of this moment, I have never had a student be like, are you on YouTube? No one's done that. You know what I mean? And I think that the day that happens is the day that I'm going to be like, yikes. Because, like, you know, I could just see parents complaining. I could see all sorts of other stuff happening, and that would just be unfortunate. Josh Roche says, when you make your videos, do you write a script ahead of time? You always sound very clear and easily understood. Yes, I do. To answer your question, yes, I do. I think that it is very important to write a script ahead of time because okay, here's the deal. I value your time. There's nothing worse than to turn on a video. Like, let's say that you're looking for like a review of some game, and you're scrolling through the little lists of all the various reviews, and you see some review and it's like 45 minutes, and you're like, 45 minutes? What the hell? Get to the point. Like, whenever I'm looking for a review, it better be like 5 minutes or less. You know what I mean? I don't have all day to sit there and have a review. So it's the same thing whenever I make a script for my reviews or a top 10 list. I value your time. Less is more. So if I can write a script and I organize my thoughts together on paper and then I just read it, it makes the video go so much better. It makes it flow so much better. And I think that you guys like it a lot better too. And yeah, it takes more time. Believe me, I could easily say, like, you know, oh, I want to do a top 10 NES RPGs. And I would just write down 10 NES RPGs on a Post-it note. And then I could easily just talk about them. But I know that I would end up blabbing on for a year and a day. I'd stutter over myself, and it would just be horrible. And I don't want that. I want to make good quality videos. And if it takes me once a week, or if it takes me a week to put a video out, and I have to be on like a 7-day upload schedule like I am now, where I upload, either on a Friday or a Saturday, and that is what it is, that's fine. Because I know that I'm putting out quality stuff. I don't want to just like put out random crap just to put out random crap, you know? It's even whenever I'm making a Let's Play, I don't write a script for a Let's Play, but I do write a list. I write a list of I want to go here, 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 I want to do this in this order. I jot down a list so I'm not wasting everybody's time. And that's my big thing. Donations. This is from Thomas Crumpet. Cheers, Thomas. I'm just tipping for the yikes you just said. I've been laughing at that since your EVO Let's Play. Yeah. There's actually a really funny story about my yikes. Whenever I got the Wii and I got back into... Let me tell this story in just a second. Let me look at this next donation to see. Okay, so I have another donation here from Ike Ashes. Thank you, Ike, and cheers. This is for the Switch Fund and inevitable PlayStation 4. I have a PlayStation 4. He probably means PlayStation 5. Cheers. Keep up the good work, and I love your videos and your Let's Plays. Thank you so much, Ike. Let me tell you the story about my yikes now. It's a funny story. So anyway, at least I think it's funny, and maybe it's not funny, but I'm drinking and everything is funny now. So, anyway, there was a time whenever we had 3 roommates. I've said before that we live in a 5-bedroom house. We bought this house whenever the market bottomed out, so we kind of lucked into it. Anyway, we had 3 roommates because I think we have the room, we have the space. We don't now. We did at one point. We don't have any roommates right now. But anyway. I was playing the Wii, and I had just bought I think it was Super Mario Brothers Wii, and it was like the first Mario Brothers game that I've played since like Yoshi's Island on the SNES. And I'm sitting there in my room and I'm playing. This was before I even had a channel or anything. And every time that like I would die, I'd go, yikes! Or somebody would hit me, I would like, oh, there's a Goomba! Ah! I would like freak out, because I hadn't played a Mario game or really any kind of action-y game in ages. So unbeknownst to me, my roommate Derek was out in the hallway, and he had his cell phone camera out, and he was recording me as I was doing this. And the bitch uploaded it to Facebook. I wanted to kill him, but it was the funniest shit ever. I'm gonna have to see if I can't find that video. I'm sure that he's deleted it off his telephone by now. It was like 10 years ago. It was a long time ago. But yeah, I think if he could find that, or if I could go back through his history, I'd have to go back so long to find it, but that shit was funny. Oh, another donation. This is from Stephanie Pollard. Cheers, Stephanie. I always see you in the comments. You're always commenting a lot. Thank you for that. I always like whenever people comment, because whenever people comment, like, I feel like I get to know you, and I know a lot of you guys lurk, and that's perfectly fine too. You do what you do, my God. But whenever you guys comment, I'm like, oh, I know you. I recognize you. You make me laugh. Like some people, they just make me laugh. Stephanie says, thank you for your wonderful channel, David. I loved being able to come home and watch some of your Let's Plays after a bad day at work. It helped me through a lot of crappy days. Thank you. That makes me very happy that I'm able to help people. That's actually why I got into teaching in general, was to help children. I had a good teacher who helped me whenever I was discovering things, we'll just put it that way, and I teach to kind of return the favor, I guess. Another donation from Ban 1442. Cheers, Ban. Screw the Switch Fund. I'm donating to Getting David Drunk Fund. Oh God. I'm kind of getting there. Actually, you know what? For that, I'll take another drink, because you want me to get drunk. Let's take another drink. Okay. Good Lord. But yeah, going back to Stephanie's comment about helping people through bad days or stuff like that. I started the channel just because I was like, it sounds kind of bitchy, but I'm gay. I'm allowed to be bitchy. So it should be obvious by now that I watched a lot of H.C. Bailey. When we first moved to this house, um, I was put in charge of painting and doing all sorts of other stuff, and that's whenever I found H.C. Bailey, and I would be like, God, I gotta paint this room. It's gonna take forever. I put on H.C. Bailey, and boom, his Let's Plays would just go on and on and on. Oh my God, there's another donation. I'm gonna get back to my H.B. Bailey story. $25 from Joshua. Oh, thank you for your generosity, and cheers, Joshua. Hey, David, I've caught all of your streams so far, and I've enjoyed all the Suikoden talk. Do you mind sharing your favorite characters from the series? Cheers with a shot of vanilla Jim Bean. Let me tell my H.C. Bailey story, and then I'll get to my Suikoden talk. So anyway, back to H.C. Bailey. Thank you so much for the donation, and I'll get to your question in just a minute. So I'm painting the house, we're dusting the house and doing all this kind of stuff. I didn't have a teaching license in Nevada yet, so I had the spare time. And I literally ended up listening to pretty much H.C. Bailey's entire thing. Everything. All the Final Fantasies, all the Dragon Quests, everything. And then I was like, okay, well, I've kind of exhausted this. It's time to move on to some other people. But no one could really compare. And there was one in particular. I'm not going to say who it was, but it was a Let's Play for a Wild Arms game. And I started listening to it, and I thought to myself, this guy sucks. I could do better than him. And Ken was like, what do you mean you could do better than him? I was like, give me a break. I can do better than him. And he goes, you play a lot of games, don't you? I was like, yeah, I know, stop it. And then he bought me recording stuff. And like I said, I literally started with a little tiny headset from a Rosetta Stone, from the little Rosetta Stone Learn German thing. This god-awful, horrible microphone. And I started. And my very first Let's Play, which is of Dragon Quest V, PlayStation 2 version, is still up, and you can hear the horrible microphone in action. But you know what? I did it, and I had fun, and here I am. And that's all that matters. You have fun in life. You live one life, people. Have fun. Have fun. Have fun. Don't live for other people. Live for yourself. Back to Joshua O's question about the favorite characters from the series. So, the most recent ones that I've played were Suikoden 1 as well as Suikoden 2, so those are the freshest in my mind. And oh god, I am getting drunk. And the characters from Suikoden 1 are kind of they're just kind of there. But one in particular, I think it's Kimberly from Suikoden 1, stands out because she's completely illiterate, and she's just a total bitch, and all she wants to do is get into bed with the two fisherman brothers, and she's kind of funny to me. Suikoden 2. Nanami. I love Nanami. Oh my god, she's so sweet. She is the sister. She is your kid's sister. She sees you whenever she thought that you were dead, and she slams you into the wall, and she's hugging you, and she's having a great time. And she doesn't want to get involved in the war. She wants to just, stay with you and build a family and run away to the woods. And you can actually get an ending with her where you run away to the woods together, and you just stop and you just screw this war. I'm just going to run away with you. And then there's Luke, who's on your side for the first couple of games, but he's not on your side later on. In Suikoden 3, there's Lucia, who is an enemy in Suikoden 2, but then she's your mother in Suikoden 3. There's so much going on in the Suikoden series. There's Cyleeds in Suikoden 5 with her hair. You know who Cyleeds reminds me of? If you don't know Cyleeds, I'd have to get the game cover and show it to you. But remember Cyleeds? She had the hair going down her face. Remember Dr. Blight from Captain Planet, where her hair went down half of her face? Every time I see Cyleeds, I'm like, oh, it's Dr. Blight. Yeah, there's so many great Suikoden characters, and thank you, Joshua, for your question. I will not be able to pronounce this, but this is from Fwaknas88, another donation. Cheers, Fwaknas88. He's my #1 fan. Thank you. Cheers. You know, at first I was like, maybe I shouldn't be drinking because I'm losing my train of thought, but now I'm like, I'm kind of having a lot of fun right now, so maybe I should be drinking. Comments. Chicken Man says, Prince Henry and Dragon Quest V is breaking my balls. I don't know why. I have a thing about Prince Henry and Maria in Dragon Quest V, and here's my thing. Yes, they both join you. Maria joins as a non-playable character. Prince Henry joins you as an armamentalist, to use that job class. Basically, he is an attacker as well as a black magic user. And normally you would get like a paladin type in that sort of game. But he is an armamentalist before an armamentalist was a thing. And I wish to God that Dragon Quest V allowed you, maybe even just in Generation 3, allowed you to have Maria join as a white mage and then Prince Henry to join you as a character as well. I think that would be really cool. I think it sucks that Prince Henry does not join up with you. Like, yeah, he joins up with you, but for a hot minute, and then he's like, bye, bitch. You're on your own. You know? Yeah. Let's see. Super Koopa. Hey, David. Are there any other genre that you like besides JRPGs? If I were to choose another genre, I would choose action-adventure type games, such as Crystallis, such as Willow. We were talking about Willow in the last stream. Action-adventure type games like that, what you would now know as Metroidvania, Mega Man games, Mario games. I've always been a huge Mario fan. I was raised on Mario. Oh God, we have more donations. Here we go. This is from Nathaniel Donnelly. Cheers, Nathaniel. Hearts to you, David, to your channel, and all watching. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, your picture's so cute. Thank you. And from Peter Panda. Cheers, Peter Panda. Someone say drunk fund? Apparently so. Man. Let's see. Where are we? Oh, back to Super Koopa's comment. I wanted to talk about this. I have on my Patreon Purgatory, I've talked about this. On my Patreon Purgatory, I have some lists. I have a top 10 NES Metroidvanias, a top 10 SNES Metroidvanias, and a top 10 SNES games that are not JRPGs. So there are some other games that I can recommend that are not JRPGs, but they would be on the older systems whenever I really had a chance to play those types of games. Nowadays, there's just so many JRPGs out there. There's just so many. And then I have this channel on top of it, and people might not think so, but the channel takes up a lot of time. It takes up a lot of time. Mr. Horseshoe's comment just jumped, but it said, I want to say before, because I got to read a little thing about it. But then the comments jumped. I think what he said was the only thing good about Chrono Cross was its soundtrack, and I'll agree with an addendum. The graphics were good too. I'll give it that. It had some decent graphics. Okay, since the comments jumped, I don't even know where I was. So let's see. Oh, Timbermaniac said, "Who's that guy behind you?" He's trying to scare me again. There is no one behind me. No one's home. No one's home. Okay, let's see. Since the comments jumped, now I need to go back and look and see where the comments were. So let's see. Okay, Gay Statue. What does Ken think about your hobby? I think he thinks it's fine. You know, there's a fine line. There's a fine line to be had between something that is a hobby that you do in your spare time versus something that takes over your life. And as long as it doesn't take over your life, he's fine with it, you know? So yeah, I'm fine. Butt Kick 22, Phil Collins, everyone else. I can feel it in the drink tonight. Yeah, I like some Phil Collins. Wesley Wyndham Price says, Facebook equals boomer buck. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There is a little bit of boomer in everyone. And there's a lot of bit of boomer in me. Although I am not a boomer. I am a millennial. Although now they've kind of retconned that to a zennial. As far as my year being born is, I'm a zennial. I'm like half millennial, half Gen X. So yeah. I would like to know what you guys are. Are you Gen Z? Are you millennial? Are you Gen X? Are you zennial? Do I have any boomers watching? Shout out to the boomers watching. Are there any boomers actually watching me? Let me know in the comments. I would love that. I would love to see what sorts of audiences I reach. Hell, is there a greatest generation or a silent generation out there? Like, who's the oldest person watching? That's what I want to know. I want to hear the oldest and the youngest. Who's the oldest and the youngest? But if I hear like too young, I might feel like I need to censor myself a little bit more, but who am I kidding? I'm not going to censor myself. So if somebody's like, I'm 5 years old, I'm going to be like, oh, cover your ears. Oh, Dynasty Girl says, trying to eat stir fry when drunk is not a good idea. I just flung chicken onto the cat. Oh, you know what's really good whenever you're drunk? You know what's really good? The best thing whenever you're drunk? Waffle House. Waffle House at 2 a.m. You go there with your friends, and there's then there's an adjacent table of some drag queens sitting next to you, and you're just talking to each other, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. That's some good shit. They need a Waffle House in Nevada. Where's Waffle House? Come on now. You can get a Waffle House in Nevada. Like, good lord. Let's see. Where are we at in the comments? Oh, God. Austin Jordan. So, David, from 1 to 10, how drunk are you? I'm feeling it. There's been times that I've seen people get drunk on camera, and I've always been like, oh, they're faking it. Like, they're not really drunk. Why would they get drunk on camera? But you know what? Goes back to the honesty and integrity thing. Like, you guys saw, this is why I wanted you to do it on camera. I wanted you to see me literally pour the liquor into the decanter. Because I didn't want to be like, oh yeah, this is Jack and Diet, but it's really just Diet Coke. You know, I'm a little bit drunk. Oh. I'm another donation. This is from Mark in Austin, 38 years old. For the Switch Plus Drink Fund. Thanks for hanging out with us. Oh, cheers, Mark in Austin. Gotta do that first. Which remake might get your money first? The Legend of Mana or Saga Frontier? Okay, I have played Legend of Mana. I have played Saga Frontier. You may have noticed that neither of them have ever been in a top 10 list. They're not top 10 material. That being said, I would probably go for the Saga Frontier one because they did say that they were going to like rebalance it and finish it because it is noticeably unfinished. My God, I'm so embarrassed right now. I'm like, oh my God, I'm embarrassed. But yeah, Saga Frontier would get it first. Although, gotta say, both of them are gonna get my money. And if they do some sort of little day one edition or some little boxed edition, or they have like some little cute something or other, I'm a sucker for stuff like that, especially for classic JRPGs. I know it's stupid, and I know it's just gonna sit on a shelf, but you know what? I have a shelf that the shit can sit on. So if they have any cute little collector's editions, I'm kind of all about it. Oh, let's see. Michael Jabber. You have the one thing that separates you from the rest of the dull Let's Players. Oh, I don't want to be disparaging. You have personality. You make it fun and engaging instead of monotone grumble. Well, thank you. I do try. I have a lot of fun with the Let's Plays. I know that they don't get as many... I'm not blind. I know that the Let's Plays don't get as many views as the top 10 lists. But I have so much fun with them. I just can't stop. Oh, Flick and Victor. They were good in one. Anonymous says Flick and Victor. That's true. How could I forget Flick and Victor? Especially Flick. Flick was hot. Super hot. Super hot. Oh, Hipster Emma Studios. Odessa from Suikoden 1 was a small part, but so good. Poor Odessa. Not to spoil anything, but poor Odessa. You know what? Maybe I'll include her in like another top 10 deaths video. If you never played Suikoden 1, I'm sorry for you. You just got spoilered, and it's I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Travis Chapman, awesome. Another David stream, RPG and life talk. Gotta love it. Come for the RPG, stay for the cool talk, and genuinely awesome guide. Thanks, David. Thank you so much, Travis. Thank you. Dynasty Girl, would you like me to teach you Mandarin or Cantonese? David. Those are hard. Those are hard. There are two languages that I would like to learn. One is German, simply because I was born in Germany. My family is not German. My family doesn't know any German. I was born in Germany because my father was in the Air Force, and we moved around a lot. And let me rephrase, I was born in West Germany. That's how old I am. I was born in West Germany. I was born in a country that no longer exists. Because my father was in the Air Force. And I would like to learn German. And I've never even visited Germany. We left Germany when I think I was 18 months old when we left Germany. I have no recollection of it whatsoever. And we left Germany. And I would like to learn German just because I feel like I have a connection to it. And I would also like to visit Germany and see it. And speaking of Germany, I got a funny story. So anyway, my parents moved to Germany, and this was, I want to say they moved to Germany probably in either 79 or 80. And they, of course, knew no German whatsoever either. My father's in the Air Force. My mother, she can't get any work. She doesn't know any German, so she pretty much just stays at home. And they lived in this building. And the building had this big sign on it. And my mother asked the landlord, what does that sign say? And the landlord said, oh, good building, good place to live. It just, good place to live. So I was like, okay. So they only lived there for a couple of months because she said that there were so many bugs in there. If there was anything that she wanted to keep nice or keep special, things like clothing, her jewelry, a box of food, just like boxed macaroni or cereal, anything that she wanted to keep safe, she kept in the refrigerator or the freezer because there were so many bugs and disgust in that place that was the only place that was safe for bugs. So one day, she popped out her German-English dictionary, and she was like, you know what, I'm going to look at this sign. And you know what it said? Condemned due to rats. That's where they were living. You don't get paid much in the Air Force. I have a donation from Ban 1440. Thank you, Ban, and cheers to you. Cheers to you, Ban. I'm getting low. Ban says, gay military brat solidarity. Hey, there's more of us. I moved around a lot as a kid. As a kid, we moved around a lot. It was only that we settled in Georgia that I was really able to make it my home, because before then we moved around quite a bit. But Germany was the only foreign country that we lived in. After Germany, we moved back to Washington, D.C., and we lived there for quite a bit. And I only have smatterings of recollections of Washington, D.C. Another story about Germany, since we're on that subject. So they don't really celebrate Thanksgiving in Germany. You know, Thanksgiving is an American holiday to give thanks, you know? They don't also turkey is not a indigenous animal to Europe. And they didn't sell turkeys in Europe. So my grandmother goes to visit for Thanksgiving one year. My mother's birthday is November 27th, and a lot of the times her birthday ends up falling on Thanksgiving. So my grandmother came to visit my mother not only for Thanksgiving, but also for her birthday. And she got on the plane, and this was, again, the early 80s, and she sat on the plane for 8 hours with a frozen turkey on her lap. She literally brought a frozen turkey from America to Germany so that they could have an American Thanksgiving in Germany. Okay. That's my Germany stories. I'm sure I have more, but those are the ones that I can think of right now. Oh, let's see. Insanity Force says, I just bought Peuple LaCroix because of David. It better be good. Guess what? It's good. I want to ask Insanity Force, how much did you pay for it? And the only reason why I want to ask that, normally I don't ask that question, but I'm drunk. And number two, I got it for $2.99. Like, I got it on like a flash sale at GameStop. Like, they couldn't give Peuple LaCroix away. It had such a bad reputation whenever I bought it, because everybody was like, it's kiddie. Nobody wants these stupid cartoony graphics. Me, on the other hand, I'm looking at that, I'm like, this looks amazing. Look at those wonderful cartoony graphics. This looks great. And it is. It is like Lunar meets Earthbound. It is fantastic. Fantastic. I love Peuple LaCroix. And I'm going to apologize right now, but Peuple LaCroix was one of the very first games that I ever Let's Played. And not only was my microphone terrible, but I used a different recording software than I currently use, and for whatever reason, the screen would like flash, 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 flash. And I don't know why the screen flashed. And it wasn't until that Let's Play, whenever I was like, this recording software frickin' sucks. And then I was like, how can I get different recording software? So I went onto Google and I typed it in, and I asked a question on Reddit, and I really hardly ever use Reddit. But I typed in a question, and it was called Lolilo. Lolilo, that's what it was called. And I was like, this Lolilo software that I'm using, the screen flashes and sometimes the audio drops. What's going on with this thing? And somebody commented, and they go, I don't know what the hell Lolilo is. LOL, nobody uses that. Use OBS, you noob. And I was like, that's a really fucking bitchy comment, but you know what else? It was helpful. I went and I downloaded OBS the very next day, and I haven't looked back. So even the bitchiest, most mean-spirited comments can be helpful. Oh, let's see. Kaboom and Stuff says, I think that the top 10 listeners is easier to digest and they run in the background, but keep up the Let's Plays, you will build an audience for it over time. I've been doing them for about 5 years, and to me, that's like my core audience, the people that I get to see and interact with and have comments with every single day on those Let's Plays. It's a lot of fun talking to those people. Daniel DeVore. I'm absolutely loving the Earthbound LP, one of my favorite RPGs of all time. Thank you. It is one of my favorite RPGs of all time as well. Sev5458 says, do you recommend Radiant Historia on the DS or the 3DS? Well, the 3DS, there's just so much added to it. It's just so much better. I mean, like, if you can only get a hold of the one on the DS, then play that one. It's a fantastic game. It deserves to be played either way. But if you have a choice between the two, definitely go for the 3DS. Oh, let's see. Connor Quigley says, the moment that always stands out to me with the H.C. Bailey was during his Final Fantasy VII Let's Play, whenever he kept failing to save in the mansion and ended up raging and cursing. I don't think I've ever once seen H.C. Bailey curse on his LPs, which is something that sets me aside from him. I try not to, but sometimes you just get pissed, and you do. Whenever I was doing my Wild Arms 4 Let's Play, for those of you unaware, Wild Arms series in general is just a very traditional JRPG. However, Wild Arms 4 has a lot of side-scrolling aspects to it, a lot of jumping around and doing things like that. You can even do like this little time stop thing where you make everything go in slow motion. So Wild Arms 4 is much more platformy. I raged like hell on that game. I would like start screaming into the game. This was one of the very first LPs that I ever did. There was a time where I was like, screw this, I'm never gonna LP again. This is ridiculous. Like, I would fall and just like, oh, it was bad. I even have some outtakes and some bloopers on that LP. It was just ridiculous. Man. Connor Quigley. He's usually so calm. It was funny to see him getting worked up. Oh, I thought that you were talking about me. He was talking about H.C. Bailey, but it's the truth. He's so like he follows, like, I have a script too, but I'm known to go off my script and just do my own thing. He follows a script. And hey, more power to him. You do what you do. I love me some H.C. Bailey. I'm not going to say anything bad about him because I love him. I think he's great. Sorry, I just had to have another drink. I just have to have another drink. Hipster Mage Studio says, I could be wrong, but I have an English teacher vibes from David. I have taught English before. That is not my current profession, but I have taught English before. Thank you, Danny Drummond. I'm very sexy, apparently. Thank you so much. Oh my god. Okay, so here's the deal. Insanity Force says, David, PE teacher, obviously. Here's the deal. You know how you get those questions and people are like, if you could go back and do one thing over again, or if you could change something, what would you change? What would you change? And I think that would be the thing that I would change. I would have changed my college major and taught PE. Because back whenever I was in college, or how do I put this? Back whenever I was in middle school and high school, really middle school. I wasn't really one to be all that active. I would go out and play with my friends. I would ride my bikes. I would do that kind of stuff. But like playing like organized sports, that was not my deal at all. I was not one to play soccer or football or baseball or basketball or anything like that. And I'm still not really one to do that. It wasn't until I got into working out, lifting weights, doing stuff like that, that I got more outgoing, that I started to really enjoy, being outside and doing outside stuff like that. I even joined a gay softball league, for God's sakes. But yeah, if there was one thing that I would go back and do, it would be to change my major and become a PE teacher. I think that would be so much fun. I think that would be so much fun. Michael Swirisky says, David, I work and I live in Germany. I'm gonna send you some stuff. Oh my god, that would be so cool. I remember growing up, we had a lot of stuff from Germany. We had these little Hummel dolls. If you don't know what those are, these little glass dolls. They almost look like little Precious Moments things, but they're not. My mother collected those. She liked those. She'd never heard of them until she went to Germany. We had all these different Christmas ornaments that were German or European Christmas ornaments, ones that you could never really buy in America, ones that had like indentations and things like that. And you can buy those nowadays, but back in the early 80s, like it wasn't like it was today where everything's so interconnected. And she had those, and she had these beautiful Christmas ornaments that she bought in Germany. She had this little Christmas, I don't even know what it's called, this little thing where you like light candles around it, and then this little thing, like this fan almost like spins around at the top. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? She had all these cute little things, and she bought them all in Germany and she loved them. And yeah. Adrian says those cups. Where did you get those, David? If you don't mind, I'm asking. I'm assuming you're talking about my little teeny tiny cup or this decanter, which is really a pitcher. It's not really even a cup. It's literally a pitcher. It's meant to pour a drink. This is depression glass. I collect depression glass because I'm crazy like that. And again, because I'm just, I don't know. It's whatever. You collect different things, and I like depression glass. You can buy depression glass at various antique stores. I remember as a kid, my mother would find it just going to flea markets. You really can't find it at flea markets anymore. You can buy it on eBay. They're really cute. They come in different colors. There's green, there's amber, there's a blue cobalt. For whatever reason, I just like the pink. Maybe it's the gay in me liking the pink. And with that slurp, it's time for a refill. Oh, there we go. We should all get a refill on our drinks right now. Why not? My ice is really beginning to melt, isn't it? Okay, let's get back to the comments. Oh, where are we at? David can't hold his liquor. I try. Danny Drummond. Oh my God, stop it. Oh, Shane Hellion, quarter Asian, also a gay military brat. Hey, there's three of us in here. I see. I Cabal I says Christmas markets in Germany are great. I was watching. I'm a huge PBS fan. I really like PBS. There's so many good things on PBS, so many good shows, and it's not even just like the historical dramas that I like that I've spoken about, but there is Rick Steves Europe, and I love Rick Steves' Stupid Europe. And he goes to all sorts of different places. He's like a travel guide essentially, and he goes to different places and he talks about different things. But there's many times that he'll go to the Christmas markets in Germany, and yeah, I'm a little bit drunk. I don't remember what I was trying to say, but I like Rick Steves Europe. Oh, okay, let's see. A lot of people are talking about Germany. Maxide Smith. I wasn't going to drink tonight, but fuck it, you convinced me. It is gin o'clock. Cheers to that, Maxide. Not gin. Whiskey. Rasundi. What are your thoughts, if any, on the Trials of Mana remake? Here's my thoughts. The Mana series, in general. My favorite games in the Mana series are Secret of Mana and, well, let's start this again. The original Secret of Mana games are the are my favorites. That would be Final Fantasy Adventure, Secret of Mana, and Seiken Densetsu 3. Trials of Mana is a remake of Seiken Densetsu 3. And I think it was well done. A lot of people are going to bitch about the voice acting, me included. I made a whole video on it, for God's sakes. But anyway, I can like a game despite it having horrible voice acting. Arc Rise Fantasia is a case in point. I grew up on games that had no voice acting whatsoever. I am totally okay I'm totally okay playing a game that has no voice acting. In fact, sometimes it's almost a little bit better. Like if you're playing a game like Ys 9, for example, and they talk so slow, and I'm like, I can read this dialogue so much faster than you can talk, so I can just sit there and click, 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 click right through it. So half the time I'm not really even paying attention to the voice acting anyway. Although I will say that the voice acting is so bad it's good. Another donation from the Funk Lord. I almost said something else. Cheers, Funk Lord. Longtime fan. Never heard you talk about Brigandine for the PlayStation 1. It just got a sequel on the Switch. Have you ever played it, or do you have any thoughts on it? Brigandine is one of my white whales. It is one of the very few games that I was never able to actually find a copy of or purchase on the PlayStation 1. There aren't many of those out there, but it is one of them. So unfortunately, I do not have any thoughts on it. I am unaware that it had a sequel on Switch because I do not have a Switch. Therefore, the Switch is kind of off my radar. That being said, though, it is one that I do want to track down. It is one that I would like to purchase. But I don't have it, and I think... Isn't that the one that's a strategy? Or I want to say Brigandine is a strategy RPG, but it uses robots. I could be thinking of something else. I'm not entirely sure. I have heard some good things about it, but I'm sorry, I don't know much about it because I've never played it. I'm not gonna lie and say, oh yeah, it was the best game ever. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna lie and do that. I'm just gonna say it's a white whale. I've never played it. I do not own it. I was never able to actually track down a copy, unfortunately. But thank you anyway for the donation. Thank you. Butch the Claw says, what was the second language you wanted to learn? Yeah, I'm drunk. I only talked about German. The second language that I wanted to learn, I'm sure everybody here probably wants to learn, is Japanese. I even tried to learn Japanese a long time ago, probably back in college. I downloaded a Japanese version of Dragon Quest III for the NES, and I tried to go through it with a Japanese to English dictionary. And I would go through and I would write down everybody's dialogue, blah, 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 and try to learn Japanese that way. Needless to say, it didn't work. I didn't even get out of Eliahan. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with this. Screw this. I'm done with this. Oh, a donation from Still Alive. He donated earlier. This is so fun to me. He donated earlier in a different live stream, and I love his little avatar, the Tella, and he's alive, and it's Tella, and he's dead, and it's funny to me. Cheers, Still Alive. I just acquired this PlayStation 1 game that I hear no one talk about called Dragon Valor by Namco. Have you ever heard of it or played it? It looks like action-adventure mostly. I have never played it. God, people are bringing up white whales today. I've never played it. Is that the one where you're like this knight and he's like in kind of like a weirdo chainmail thing, and he's like trying to kill the dragon, but there's like a princess back behind the dragon. There's like some concept art of that. It's like very anime looking. I have not played it. I'm not really even aware of it all that much. I would like to play it, and I think that that's the one that I'm referring to. I'm not even sure. Yeah. Oh, the comments just jumped. It's like I was over there looking at the donation, and then I scroll down to read some more comments, and then the comments jumps, and I have to come. So now I have to go up. Oh, Ruben Frias. How do you feel about the gacha games? I don't like them. There's a new gacha game out there, Genshin Impact. I've seen people talk about it. People have commented on it on my channel about it. I have seen people in Facebook groups talk about it. I have never played it. I do not play gacha games. I have a limited amount of time, and with that limited amount of time that I do have, I want to spend that on good games. I don't want to spend my time on some gacha garbage whenever I could be spending it on something good. You know what I mean? I'm just not. Let's see. Explo Smoke X. I gotta say, you do not look at all how you sound. Just thought I'd mention. Apparently that's a theme. A lot of people have told me that I do not look how I sound. I can't say that my voice is going to drop because I'm almost 40 years old. My voice is what my voice is what my voice is. It is what it is. There you go. Arc James says, I'm playing through Grandma for the first time. I'm kind of loving the voice acting in it. I think he means to say Grandia. But yeah, the voice acting it's okay. It's okay. I like Sue. Sue is so cute. She's so cute. I like her. She's adorable. iCabal I says, I recently played through the Valis games on the PC Engine. You can't get much worse voice acting than that. Hey, iCabal I. Did you ever watch my top 10 worst voice acting video, part 1, the very first one that I did? I actually included a clip from the Valis game, and it's hysterical. I put a clip in there at the very beginning and another clip at the very end, and I just put it in because the voice acting is just horrible. Apparently, guys are talking about voice acting. NanoGlitch says, Tales of Eternia had such obnoxious voice acting. Like Keel, he would go, Fireball! Every time he cast that little spell. Yeah. Dynasty Girl, you have a P.O. box now, right? Perhaps I can send you some Chinese snacks to try. Do you live in China? That'd be really cool. I would love that. I think that would be really freaking cool. I do have a P.O. box. I need to put it in my About section, but I think right now it's in the video description. Whenever you do a live stream, you can like copy what you put in last time, and I just copied it over because whatever, who cares? Donation from Butch from Butch LaClasse. Cheers, Butch. Which Tales battle system is your favorite? Do you prefer classic style with TP and tiered arts, or Destiny R-esque with CC and free roam combos? The Tales battle system has evolved over time, to say the least. Whenever it first started, it was clunky. Like, my first Tales game was Tales of Destiny for the PlayStation. It was the first one released in America. And the hero, Kless, like, basically, he did everything. And everybody else just kind of hung out in the back and did whatever the hell they did. And then, of course, it evolved over time. It got better. But then it got, like, there was a tipping point where it got better, then it got complicated. I'm not a fan of the overly complex battle systems. The battle systems, such as from Tales of Zestiria, the ones where it's like, put in this combo to put in this combo to do this combo to do this combo to do this combo. There's like a combo tree. That's too much work. Holy crap. I just want to hit right and O and have a freaking combo. Like, is it really that much? And I feel like Vesperia had that in there. Yeah. So Vesperia was good. If I had to choose my favorite, Grace's F? Grace's F was good. I liked that one. The title system was a bit much, but the battle system was nice. Thankfully, Berseria kind of went down. Like, Zestiria was like ridiculously complicated, and Berseria went down a little bit to more of like, let's just deal with this. Corey Davis donates. Cheers, Corey Davis. Thank you so much for your donation. Son, I got my game demo coming out soon. I got a boss base of you and CG on live streaming. Welcome to the club. Well, congratulations on your game demo coming out. That's very exciting. And yeah, I'm live streaming and I am having a blast doing it. So yeah, thank you so much for welcoming me to streaming, and cheers number 2 for that. And to think, Ken's gonna want to go out drinking tomorrow. I know that he is. Ken always likes to go out drinking on Fridays for whatever reason. And it used to be that I can oh, hold on. It used to be that I could go and I could basically play. Oh, where am I at in these comments? What am I saying? I could go and I could drink multiple days in a row, and then I hit like 40, and I have problems. I normally only drink every other day, if that. Normally it's like once a week now. Rob Nix, I got that same shirt. Target, right? No, Rob Nix, I got this one at H&M. You know why I got it at H&M? Because they sell their shirts in extra small. Extra small. So you have to, show your little boobs off. So yeah. Still alive. Favorite Star Ocean game? Star Ocean 2. Star Ocean 2. Not 5. Star Ocean 2, I would rank them. 2, 4, 3, 1, 5. There you go. Donation from Nano Glitch. Cheers, Nano Glitch. You should let's play your RPG Maker game. I should if I could ever get the thing to work. Yeah. Oh, for those donations. Yeah, Rob Nix. Cheers to you. I don't mean to skip anything. I really don't. Rob Nix posted in the comments. He goes, whoa, hey, you skipped my super chat. And I'm like, oh, I don't mean to skip anything. Some of them pop up on top. Some of them don't. And then between some of them popping up on top, some of them not, me being drunk, and the live chat, jumping whenever it feels like it randomly jumps, I don't want to skip anything, but I am. And cheers to still alive for that question there. Oh my god, I am drunk. I just showed off my... Yeah, okay. Okay, where am I at? Let's see. Where am I at in the comments? I kind of got thrown off guard by that Rob Nix comment there, because I don't want to skip anybody. I want to get everybody in. I want to get everybody in. Yeah, Peter Panda was telling me that I'm not trying to skip donations. It's just some pop up on top and some don't, and it's hard for me to see the ones that don't pop up on top, and I'm not entirely sure. Oh, I know why. Somebody told me last time. They said there's like a a threshold of a certain amount and it pops up on top and other ones don't. And I'm up like, 200 comments up here and everybody, and then the ones that are the other super chats are down here and I just don't see them. And then the comments start jumping and I'm just like, yeah. So I'm trying my best. I'm not trying to skip anyone here. I'm not trying to skip anyone. Don't worry. Okay. Anyway, where are we at? Let's see. Yeah, some people are saying they prefer no voice acting in games. I like voice acting in games. But then there are times that I'm like, even I would rather have a game have voice acting than not have voice acting, even if I personally skip it. Because sometimes I get into the mood of like, okay, I'll sit here and I'll listen to everybody go on about whatever. And then sometimes I will be like, these people are talking too slow. X, X, X. And I'll just read it real fast. But but either way, like I like to have the option of having voice acting. I don't want to say I don't want no voice acting. I like to have the option there of having voice acting. Turkleton says, "Man, I want a drink. Get you one, Turk. Get you one." Everybody else all the cool kids are doing it. Yeah, all the cool kids are doing it. Do it. Okay. Let's see. What's in the glass, Dave? From Ningle Fungus. This is, well, you can see this on camera. Let's actually move that off camera. It's just, it's just Diet Coke. And then, Jack Daniels. A bottle of Jack. A big bottle of Jack. Yeah. Okay. Stephanie Pollard, I've never understood the saying your attack name. I guess it makes it stronger when you shout the name of your attack. Guess so. Oh, people are correcting me. It was Kless and Fantasia. Destiny was Stan. That's right. Between me not playing it in quite a bit of time and being drunk, and I'm kind of drunk. I'm trying to keep it together. Let's see. Where are we going? Adrian Alfonso. Hey, David. I'm a fan of your channel. Something that crossed my mind. Have you ever talked about Illusion of Gaia for the SNES? I don't ever remember you mentioning it. I have mentioned it. I have spoken about it. It is part of the Heaven and Earth trilogy. Of the Heaven and Earth trilogy games, I would say it is the second best game. It does have some massive difficulty spikes in it. It's a fun game. What I like about it is I like that you're not Freedan, or you're not Shadow. You're not like the super powerful knight or the super powerful ninja. You're just the kid with his flute. And you're attacking with that. That's what I like about it. You're the everyday kid. Although the translation is hysterical. Donation from Explo Smoke X. Cheers. How much longer are you going to be streaming for tonight, David? I'd like to go grab myself a drink and hang out for a bit. Love your vibes and your content. Normally, I only stream for about an hour and a half, and it's been roughly an hour and a half. And I would like to stream for longer because I am drunk at this point, but I will tell you that my bladder is very, very, very full and I kind of have to go pee right now and I'm very drunk. So I will continue on for a little bit longer if you all will be patient with me. If I run to the restroom, is that okay with you guys? I've never done this before and I feel really embarrassed kind of being on camera and going pee, but the bladder is real. Stick around. I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I am back. Let's see. Gotta wash your hands. Anyways, thank you so much for waiting. That's, I know. But I'm drinking. You know, whenever you're at a bar and you're drinking and, you know, you end up going pee all the time because, you know, you're drinking and yeah. Okay. Let's see where we're at in the comments. Let's see. Oh, everybody's saying don't forget to like the stream. Yeah, I don't really know what it does either, but yeah, I guess it helps the algorithm. Whatever, every little bit helps. Who knows? Let's see, where are we at? Michael Swirsky, David, thanks for just being one of the guys, just chilling, being honest, having a drink, talking about video games. Cheers. DayJosh2001 says, I actually like Soul Blazer the best. I'm weird. Really? I do feel like Soul Blazer is better than the Grand Stream Saga. I mean, I'll give you that. It has kind of an interesting story, but yeah, I wouldn't say. I mean, you're really gonna rank Soul Blazer over Terranigma? I mean, everybody has their own. Everybody has their own opinion, but Terranigma. I mean, come on. Okay. Oh, another donation. This is from Fargo Retro. Cheers, Fargo. Hey, David, love the channel. What is the spiritual successor to Final Fantasy Legend 2, in your opinion? Well, you know that there is Final Fantasy Legend 3, but I wouldn't exactly call that a spiritual successor to it. It's more of a sequel, and even then, it's not really like a sequel, good sequel. It's a sequel by an entirely different team that made the Final Fantasy Mystic Quest game, and it has a whole different vibe to it. But anyway, if I was going to say a spiritual successor, I would say the Alliance Alive. It has the same kind of learning system, or the sparking system that the Saga series is known for. It has the same growth system. It has the same traditional feel to it. It has the same like world system to it. There's like the rainy world and the fire world, just like in Final Fantasy Legend 2, whenever you go to like, you know, the little different worlds and everything. So I love Alliance Alive. There is different versions. There's the one on the 3DS that you can get, and there's also an HD remake too. So yeah, do not miss out on the Alliance Alive, as I am now furiously scanning all these comments to look to make sure that I'm not skipping anybody who doesn't pop up on top. I really don't want to skip anyone at all. Oh, let's see. Turkleton, my boys heard you mention my YouTube name. They think that I'm famous now. I'll let you be a little bit more famous by mentioning you again. You're famous in my eyes. Thank you. Another donation from Mark in Austin. Oh, thank you, Mark. Thank you. Cheers, Mark. Cheers. Hi, David. Have you tried It's Our Revolution yet? It has RPG meets Nibbles gameplay. It's short, silly, and free. Windows only. I have never even heard of It's Our Revolution. And whenever you say RPG meets Nibbles, I really don't even know what you're referring to. I don't know what nibbles is. I mean, nibbling like you're eating something, but I'm sure that that's not what you're referring to. I might have to check it out. If you think it's good, and you know what? I'm always about short RPGs. I don't want to say the shorter the better, because that's not always the case either. But if I'm not sure about an RPG and I just want to test it out, I am so much more willing to test out an RPG that's like 5 hours tops over an RPG that's like 100 hours. You know what I mean? Like, it's a short investment, so I might give it a shot. I think that might be fun. JD Turing Kai, if you hit like 1 million subs or something, would you quit teaching and do this for a living? Um, Probably. I mean, I have a lot of fun doing this, to be quite honest with you. And I started this channel as just like a pastime thing. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is my hobby. It's just a hobby. It's just something to do. Um, that it makes a little bit of money here and there is nice too. I think that that's wonderful. Um, but it's getting to the point. 1 year ago, 1 year ago, I had less than 20,000 subscribers. It was less than I think 1 year ago whenever I made my 20,000 subscribers special. And I was able to kind of keep up with it. But right now, and I've talked to Ken about this actually, it's kind of hitting like a tipping point where the channel is becoming overwhelming. And it's at the point of do I bring the channel back to something that's not overwhelming? Or do I take distractions out of my life, such as my teaching job, and do I push the channel forward? Like, I'm kind of at that point. I'm at that question in my mind right now, as far as what I do. So yeah. Donation. This is from a donation from another damn hidden gem. Cheers to hidden gems. He asks, how do you feel about modded game systems? I'm fine with it. I am not Nintendo. I am not Sony. I am not Microsoft. You're not taking a dime out of my pocket if you mod a game system. I don't really care. I'm fine with it. Some people might not agree with me, and some people might be, oh, you're against this, or oh, I'm against that or the other. But like, I'm all about the fans. And not everybody is a millionaire. Not everybody has a shit ton of money sitting around to go out and buy all these games. And like I said before, you only live once, and you only have one life. And if you need to mod a console in order to play these various games, then you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, I'm not saying. Let me put a caveat on that. I do not stand for emulating games that you can right now purchase for a new price. Brand new games. I am not for emulating brand new games because I think that developers need to be supported. I'm talking about, let's say that you want to play Crystalis. We'll just use that as an example. You want to play Crystalis. You've heard me talk about Crystalis. You've heard other people talk about Crystalis. Crystalis is a great game, blah, 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 blah. You want to play it. But you can't afford, the price on eBay. So if you need to download Crystalis to play Crystalis, download Crystalis for God's sakes. But do not take money out of a developer's pocket and go around and, download a brand new game. To me, there is a fine line. That's what I'm talking about here. So, yeah. Okay, where are we going? People are asking about my lunchbox. I've seen quite a few people asking about my lunchbox. The lunchbox is one that I had as a child. And then I'm sure my mother was like, let me take this lunchbox and I'll clean it for you. And then it just kind of vanished and a new lunchbox appeared. And I ended up finding it on eBay and I rebought it. So, yeah. The Jack bottle, that Jack bottle ain't empty. There's plenty of Jack still left in that bottle. I'm not going to drink it all. My God, I'll pass out in front of this stream for y'all. This is probably the last little drink that. Once this is done, then we can have a good night. Okay. Let's see. JD Turnkai, one thing we can agree on, the man keeps a clean home. Look at those carpets. Thank you. I do pride myself on my housekeeping. Like I said at the very beginning of the stream, I am a big fan of Martha Stewart. I know I'm crazy. I will sit there. So no one here is going to know this. No one else is going to know this, but I'm going to know this because this is me. Martha Stewart actually has an app, and you have to pay. It's like $50 a year. It's ridiculous. You have to pay like $50 a year to get access to this Martha Stewart app, and it has all of her old Martha Stewart living shows. And guess who subscribes to that app? I know. I spend money on Martha fricking Stewart. And but the thing is, like, I like watching her, and sometimes I'll just get into like this cleaning mode. Sometimes I like to clean. It's cathartic to me. And I'll turn on Martha Stewart in the background, and I'll be like, well, Martha's replacing her windows, and Martha's cleaning this and doing that, and Martha's, organizing her linens, and I'll organize my linens too. It'll be fun. Like, I'm such a frickin' dork, but yeah. Where are we going? Let's see. Screw the Switch. I hereby declare a Roomba fund. Could you imagine? I'd be like in the middle of a live stream, and the Roomba would just come coming on in, and then somebody in the live stream would be like, "Who's that behind you?" And I'd be like, "There's no one behind you." And then the Roomba would come and hit my chair, and be like, "Wah!" Like, that would just kind of freak me out. Oh, a donation, as I'm talking about Roombas. From Mark Erickson. Cheers, Mark. Hey, David. Thank you for the amazing content. Have you considered collaborating with any other big JRPG YouTubers? And who are your favorite to-go channels? My favorite channels, I've already spoken about HC Bailey. He was the one, I had never heard of Let's Playing until HC Bailey. I think what I did was I typed in, as I was like painting the house for hours, I typed in I was like, screw this. And I typed in Final Fantasy VI. And I think I was just trying to look for like music of Final Fantasy VI. And then I saw the Let's Play thing, and I was like, oh, he's playing? And I clicked on it, and I was like, this is kind of strange. And then he started doing it. I was like, wow, this is really cool. And so I've always been a big fan of H.C. Bailey. Chugga Conroy. Chugga Conroy. He is a very good Let's Player as well. He's so funny. He's so funny. I like him as well. And yesterday in the stream, I couldn't think of the name because, you're talking, you're reading, you're doing this, you're doing that. And I called them fast runs. And I know that they're called speed runs. And I feel like a moron for calling them fast runs. But it's games done quick. An RPG limit break. Sorry, I'm talking so much. My voice is getting like raspy. RPG limit break. Those a lot of the times, like I'll start cardio or something, and I'll turn on a speed run, and I'll just listen to that. So yeah. Okay, let's see where we're at. That chair looks comfy. I have a story about this chair. We went to Office Depot years ago to look for a nice chair for me. And I was raised in such a way that you do not waste money. I mean, you can tell as I'm drinking my Sam's Club soda here and not the actual Diet Coke. I was taught that thrift is a virtue. You're not being cheap, you're being thrifty. And there's nothing wrong with that. I was taught to cut coupons. Whenever I came home from school, there was a pile of coupons sitting on the kitchen table that Daniel and I had to sit there and cut for hours and hours and hours. It just was what it was. My father was in the Air Force, so we didn't have a lot of money. We had to do what we had to do, and thrift was just a way of life. And now I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, the chair. So we went to Office Depot, and Ken is looking around, and he's like, "Do you like this chair? Do you like this chair? Do you like this chair?" And I'm going straight to the clearance chairs. And I'm like, "No, I like this chair." And I had to buy this one because it was on clearance, and it was what it was. And I've had this chair for about 9 years now, and it works perfectly fine. It works for my needs, and it matches everything. And yeah. Okay. Another donation from Chris Ray. Cheers, Chris. What do you think about point-and-click games like Shadowgate and King's Quest? It'd be kind of fun to see your reactions to some of those old games. I've played Shadowgate. I don't think that I've played King's Quest before. There was a time whenever I downloaded pretty much every single SNES RPG known to man, and I may have put some time into something like King's Quest. I remember reading a lot about King's Quest in Counselor's Corner because it was so kind of convoluted. But yeah, those like games like Maniac Mansion, I know the type of games that you're talking about. But I am not that big of a fan of them. So, yeah. Okay, where are we at? I'm going to scroll all the way up to make sure I didn't miss anybody's comments, because again, if they don't pop up on top, I'm not going to see them. Oh, there's one that I did miss. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? This is from Still Alive. Yeah, this is one that I would have missed if I didn't scroll up. I need to scroll up more often. Still Alive. Cheers, Still Alive. He asks, are those strategy guides back there? How many do you have? Those are strategy guides back there. There's 3 boxes worth of strategy guides, and then the final box on the far, it would be on your far right-hand side of the screen. Those are all Nintendo Powers. And I ordered the Nintendo Power. I had hundreds of Nintendo Powers growing up. Whenever I say we, I mean my brother and I. We were members of what was called the Nintendo Fun Club. It was a magazine before Nintendo Power even existed. And it came out quarterly. Once a season, a Nintendo Fun Club magazine would come out. And there was even a Nintendo Fun Club card. And for all I know, Daniel still has those Fun Club cards. He used to keep them in his little safe. We used to have these little safes, and it was like the little coin safe or whatever, and he would keep them in there. And he would keep mine, too, for safekeeping, he said. But it was just that he was the older brother, and he just kept it. So anyway, I had Nintendo Powers from the Nintendo Fun Club time all the way up until I would imagine the release of the N64. It was sometime around there that we quit the subscription, because I went to PlayStation and Daniel went to N64, and then Daniel eventually fizzled out on gaming in general. He still does a little bit here and there, but he was never that much into it as I was. Let me get back to that strategy guide question. I have another donation from Explos Smoke X. Cheers. Sorry to ruin your scroll. I'm back with my drink, so here's a cheers to you. Well, cheers to you as well. Jack and root beer here. What kind of root beer? Are you drinking Barks root beer? Barks root beer was my brother's favorite root beer. Anyway, back to the Nintendo Power. So yeah, we had it up to about N64 time, and then I went and I subscribed to other video game magazines such as EGM or PSM, those other video game magazines. And I wish to God I still had all those Nintendo Powers, but back in the day, they were seen as disposable. It was just some magazine, you just throw it in the trash. It was just a magazine, who cared? It was the same thing with the cardboard game covers. I can't think of the word that I'm looking for. The cardboard game covers that the games would come in. The boxes. I'm drunk. I can't even think of the word box. My God. Those were seen as disposable. I would literally on Christmas morning rip open, tear the box of like Final Fantasy 3 or Chrono Trigger. Literally tear but not even save it. Tear that box open. Grab the game. It was disposable. Who needs a cardboard box? Nowadays, I could kick myself in the frickin' ass for it, but that's how things were seen back then. Another donation from Stephen Watson. Cheers to you, Stephen. He says, take a shot. That is all. I will not be doing a shot. I have done shots before. I have also passed out on the floor before. And there was a direct correlation between shots and passing out on the floor. And I no longer take shots. So I will do a cheers to you, and I will drink to that, but I will not take a shot. I'm sure we can all relate to things like that. A donation from Nanoglitz. Cheers, Nanoglitch. I hope you do start up a Discord. I'd love to join. Also, shots. Oh my God, you guys actually want me to do shots? Like, is this a thing now? Do I really need to do a shot? I do have this cute little... This is such a cute little cordial glass. I can't even stand how cute it is. I just have to think about, like, people in the 1930s. People in the 1930s with their cute little pitcher, their cute little tiny glass. It's adorable. Like nowadays we have glasses like we have like, the mega monster size glass. But back in the 30s they had their cute little cordial glass. And I could just think about that. I don't even know why I'm talking about cordial glasses, but they're so cute. Okay, let me scroll up the comments again to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Oh, Mark in Austin. I wanted to ask you, Mark in Austin, do you live in Austin? And the reason why I ask is because my cousin Taylor recently moved to Austin. My entire extended family, for the most part, lives in Long Island, New York. We were the only portion of that family to move to another part of the country. But just recently, my cousin Taylor moved to Austin. And I'm just wondering if you're in Austin. Not that you would know him or anything, but I would just like to know. I would see a question from Theo Molinox. Do you watch Nigella Lawson? She's similar to Martha Stewart, but she's kind of crazy. That's an understatement. Nigella Lawson is a bitch. Isn't she the one that wrote her kids out of the will? What is wrong with you? You're going to get millions and millions and millions of dollars, and you're going to write your kids out of the will? Bitch has issues. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that the kids should just be trust fund babies or get it all or whatever, but to write your kids out of the will for no reason? Who here has watched Mommy Dearest? Here's how I know if you've watched Mommy Dearest. If you're gay, you've watched Mommy Dearest. I love me some Mommy Dearest. And yeah, every time I hear about people writing their kids out of the will, unless your kid is some psychopath, murderer, crazy person. If your kid is a normal, average, good person trying to live their life to the best of their abilities, why would you write him out of the will? And then I just think of Mommy Dearest, and I'm Joan Crawford? You a bitch. Oh, God. Okay. Going back to the comments. Hayes Ventura, Ace Detective, says, here's to David, homie. Keep up the stellar work. I'm smoking a blunt to the stream as we speak. I have... We like Clinton. I've smoked, but I never inhaled. No, I've smoked I've smoked marijuana before. However, it burned my throat, and I was not a fan. And I only did it once. I never did it again. That being said, marijuana is legal here in Nevada. I never tried it in Georgia. I am not one to break the law. If I've never broken the law in my life, I don't do that. But I've tried once it became legal here in Nevada. I went out and I bought some marijuana candies, and I've had the marijuana chocolates and the little marijuana gummies, and I do enjoy that. Smoking it though, I've never even smoked a cigarette, for God's sakes. I'm a good boy. I've never even smoked a cigarette. Donation from Ban. Cheers to you, Ban. Cheers. Ban says, Christina, bring me the axe! Ban has seen Mommy Dearest. Donation from another damn hidden gem. Cheers to you. He says, being a fan of the Final Fantasy games, have you ever played Bravely Default or Bravely Second? By the way, Bravely Default 2 on the Switch is amazing. Definitely recommend buy when you get yours. As everybody keeps on talking about Bravely Default 2, that will probably be the very first game that I play on the Switch. I was thinking it was going to be Xenoblade 2, but apparently it's going to be Bravely Default 2. That being said, yes, indeed, I have played Bravely Default as well as Bravely Second. I own, a 3DS, and I've played those games, and they are great. I've even considered making a job ranking video for the Bravely Default games, similar to my job ranking video of Final Fantasy Tactics, of Final Fantasy V as well. However, whereas I have played Final Fantasy Tactics 1,000,000 times and Final Fantasy V like 1,000,000,000 times, I've only played Bravely Default once. For obvious reasons, we have all played the second half. So, my experience with the Bravely Default games are not as much as they are with the Final Fantasy Tactics or Final Fantasy V. I'm starting to slur my words now. So I don't know if I would feel as experienced doing a job ranking video on those games. I might go back and maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll go back and I'll replay Bravely Default and Bravely Second in anticipation for Bravely Default 2. And then I can make job ranking videos for those two games, because I'd suck a dick for a good job system. Just saying. Okay, let's go back to some other comments. Oh, where are we at? Let's see. Oh. Scooter Jones says, I live close to Austin. It's a fun place. Yeah, keep Austin weird. Where did I go? I have never been to Austin. My one time that I've ever been to Texas, I was driving from Georgia to Nevada. It was whenever we were moving from Georgia to Nevada, and Ken, the reason why we moved is because Ken got a new job here in Nevada. And he moved in February, and I had to stay until June because I had signed a teaching contract. And so, I didn't want to break the contract. I didn't want to, let down the kids. So I stayed in Georgia while Ken moved to Nevada. It was hard. Long distance relationships are hard. We had been together for 7 years by that time. We'd been together because we got together in 2003, and it was in 2010 that we moved to Nevada. So even though we'd been together for 7 years, it was very difficult being apart for, even though it was only about 4 or 5 months. It was one of the hardest things that I ever did in my life, being apart from him. So anyway, once the school year ended, I had to drive from Georgia to Nevada, and I would stop in various cities along the way. And thankfully, Ken's company paid for me to move myself over there. But they gave me a time limit, and this is how many miles you could drive a day, and this is where you have to stay in the hotels, and blah, 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 blah. So I did a 7-day road trip between Georgia and Nevada, and I spent 2 days in New Orleans because it's New Orleans, and my God, I want to spend 2 days. I spent a day in Houston just checking it out because my friend Michael went with me, and his family was in Houston, so he wanted to stop and talk to his family, and then and then we spent the night in San Antonio. And San Antonio had a river walk, which was gorgeous. We stopped and we ate at some Mexican restaurant, and it had a little band there and everything, and it was super cute. And the doors were open to the river, and we saw the Alamo. It was very, very, very nice. I really enjoyed San Antonio, and we got very drunk, just like I am tonight. and and we ended up walking back to the hotel, and Michael was stumbling. And this was before like Uber or Lyft was a thing. And we're walking back to the hotel, and the only way, like, I didn't know where the hell I was. We'd only been in San Antonio for literally the one day. Hell, not even one day. We finished driving, went out to eat, went to the Riverwalk, and I had to walk back to the hotel. I didn't know what the fuck I was. And so I found the hotel on the skyline. I found like it was a tall building, and I just followed the building to where we were, or to the hotel back. Where else did we stop? Oh, we stopped in Albuquerque, and I went on gay.com in Albuquerque, and I asked the people on, this is how far back it was. My God, there was gay.com. And I typed into the chat room, and I was like, where's some good gay bars to go into Albuquerque? And all they could say was, you dumb bitch, learn how to spell Albuquerque. So I just put like ABQ instead. I was like, fuck you, you stupid assholes. So like, just answer my damn question. Don't judge me on my grammar. We went to Carlsbad Caverns. We stopped in Flagstaff, Arizona. It was a really nice cross-country road trip. It was one of my favorite trips that I ever did. A donation from Peter Panda. Cheers, Peter Panda. He just says, to the Martha Stewart Fund. Martha Stewart needs her money, honey. Apparently, we all know that Martha Stewart is, dumpster diving. She's poor as dirt, I'm sure. God, Martha. Man, if I could live like Martha for a day. Good God almighty. Oh, where are we at in the comments? Nuclear Sandwich says, I've only seen one scene from Mommy Dearest. No wire hangers ever! Yeah. Oh, Theo says, but I watched Feud. Bet and Joan. I loved Feud. Whatever happened to Feud? That was so good. That was so good. Real world feuds. Like, as a gay, I am here for it. I am here to watch some women go at it. That is what I want. I want to see some bitches go at it. Yeah, I watched Feud, Bet and Joan. That was the best. I heard that the next feud was supposed to be Charles and Diana. I would love to see that. But they said that was going to be, they said that years ago, back whenever Feud was still a thing, but I guess Feud went off the air. God, that was such a good show. I loved it. Okay, where are we at in the comments? Let's see. Okay. Nuclear Sandwich. You really don't want to come to New Orleans now. The mayor is nuts with COVID restrictions. We are currently at a 35% capacity restriction with a mask mandate. You have to wear a mask, which is perfectly fine. they just dropped the whole calling for a reservation at a bar or calling for a reservation at a restaurant thing, and I heard that the governor is going to bring it up to 50%. I think they said March 15th, so about 10 more days. They're going to bring up the raise the capacity limits, I guess, on the bars, the restaurants, or the gyms, whatever. So yeah. Oh, more donations from Ban 1442. Cheers. It says they planned on doing an Olivia versus Jones season, but Olivia de Havilland suing them put a stop to that most likely. Can we just talk about Olivia de Havilland for just... I'm going to queen out for just a second. I'm from Georgia, and one of my favorite movies, I know. One of my favorite movies growing up was Gone with the Wind. They used to play Gone with the Wind on Christmas Eve every day. I don't know if that was like a national thing, kind of like on Easter. They'll play Ten Commandments and they'll play it, over the United States. But they used to play Gone with the Wind every Christmas Eve, and me and my family used to watch it. Well, really, not, I say my family, but my brother and my father never watched it. It was me and my mother. My mother who goes, I had no idea you were gay, as I'm watching Martha Stewart and I'm watching Gone with the Wind, and I'm like, ooh, corseted to the hinge and with the hoop skirts. But yeah, Olivia de Havilland, you go, bitch. Yeah, Melanie Hamilton. Okay, another donation from Blow Smoke. Cheers. Blow Smoke says, thoughts on first-person RPGs such as the Elder Scrolls series, Fallout series, and most recently Cyberpunk. Also, learn to spell Albuquerque, you dumb bitch. Yeah, sorry. Those to me are more Western RPGs, and I've only played a very small few Western RPGs. I've played, what's it called? Dragon Age Origins. I've played Skyrim. And if I were to get into some more kind of Western RPGs, you could say things like EverQuest could maybe even be considered that. It is a first-person type game. But those games there that you're mentioning, I guess Elder Scrolls, that was Skyrim. So yeah, but I haven't played Fallout or Cyberpunk. I've heard good things about the Fallout series, some of them. I haven't really heard good things about Cyberpunk, though. I'm not really into Western RPGs too much. Let me scroll up to make sure I didn't miss any of the other donations. Apparently I'm missing them and I don't want to miss them. Okay, so I haven't missed any of those. Because again, it's hard for me to see them if they don't pop up on the top of the thing. Oh, where are we at? Another damn hidden gem says, was viewed like Celebrity Deathmatch. Who remembers Celebrity Deathmatch on MTV in the 90s? Oh my god, that shit was hysterical. Who was it? It was, what was her name? God. The woman who got, like, the Olympic skater, Tonya Harding. Okay, it was Tonya Harding. She was in the match, and then she, and there's somebody else against her, and she spent the entire, because she thought it was going to be a joke, and then she got, like, punched in the face once, and spent the entire rest of the match running in circles, like, no, don't hit me, oh my god, don't hit me. Like, that shit was so funny. That was the funniest shit. Oh my god, Celebrity Deathmatch. I remember talking to Ken about Celebrity Deathmatch, and then Ken had never seen it. And I was like, you've never seen Celebrity Deathmatch? I was like, let's go on YouTube right now. You've got to see Celebrity Deathmatch. That shit was so funny. Oh god. Wasn't there like another Celebrity Deathmatch thing, but it was different? It was like, it was almost like claymation, and they would like punch each other with blood or something. I don't know. It was a show on MTV, but it wasn't as good as Celebrity Deathmatch because like Because Celebrity Deathmatch was ridiculous. Another show that was... Let's talk about ridiculous TV shows. There was another one. It was the Anna Nicole Smith show. And I still remember the theme song. It was like, Anna, Anna, fabulous Anna, Anna Nicole, she's so outrageous. Oh my God. Anna Nicole Smith. She was a hot mess. Oh my God. It was a guilty pleasure. Anna Nicole Smith show was a show that you would watch, but you would never tell anybody else that you would actually watching it because it was just so... Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. It was so bad. She paid this girl to be her friend. Like, this girl's job was just to be Anna Nicole's friend. And, like, the girl would begin interviews and she'd be like, well, I guess Anna's okay. She writes my checks. You could tell that this girl wanted, like, nothing to do with Anna Nicole. But she's just stuck around because she paid her to be her best friend. And then there was this show where Anna was like looking for a house, and she got in this whirlpool bathtub, and she's like, oh, this bathtub. I could just have sex with this bathtub. It was the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen in my entire life. But Anna Nicole Smith's show was required viewing. That was... NBC said that Seinfeld was must-see TV back in the day, but let me tell you, Anna Nicole Smith's show, that was some must-see TV, at least for the gays. That shit was the best. Oh, God. Marty Norfair says, whenever I was stationed at Fort Benning, me and a girl I was seeing went to the Gone with the Wind Museum in Marietta. Oh, you went to Marietta, Georgia. My hometown is not that far away from Marietta, Georgia. Wow. Didn't really want to go, but I surprisingly enjoyed it whenever I got dragged there. You know, okay, for those of you from Atlanta or from Georgia or from whatever, have you ever been to Midtown? Midtown is the gay district of Atlanta, or at least it was back whenever I lived in Atlanta. And now, like, the yuppies are invading, and they're kind of straightening it up and all that. And I like it whenever it's all nice and gay and having a good old time. But anyway, the Margaret Mitchell House is literally right there in the middle of Midtown. It's walking distance from Blake's, for God's sakes. So you can go there, and you can see where she wrote the book. So, yeah. Google Box Fairy. Hi, David. I'm new to your channel. Nice to see a gay gamer on this thing. Well, it's nice to be here. I always have fun like this. Mia Vox says, of course he likes Heathers. He's gay. You know me. You know me, don't you? I feel very seen right now. I feel attacked. Oh, God. Oh, where are we at? Where are we at? Okay, it was Nancy Kerrigan. It was Nancy Kerrigan. I thought of the other one, and I'm too drunk to remember who I actually thought of, so yeah. Yeah, Celebrity Deathmatch. That shit was the funniest crap. That was the funniest crap. God. Okay, now some people are saying it was Tanya Harding. Some people are saying it was Nancy Kerrigan. And honestly, I don't remember which one it was. But it was one of the two stuck in the Celebrity Deathmatch, and they were running for their life, and I was living for it. Oh, Alfredo Coimbra says, I remember the Britney and Christina fight on Celebrity Deathmatch. God, oh my God. Why is Celebrity Deathmatch not on TV still? How did that ever get off the air? Oh my God. For those of you who are too young to remember Celebrity Deathmatch, after this stream was over, you need to go and look up Celebrity Deathmatch. That was the funniest fucking shit known to man. It's okay. The other day I told you to look up the the In Living Color skits, the men on games, the men on film, the men on books, the men on vacations. Today, your homework assignment, your homework for today, if you choose to accept it, is to look up Celebrity Deathmatch. Holy crap, that was so funny. Mayvox says, did you watch that gay episode of that MTV dating show where they put these messy gays on a bus and had them try to date this uptight gay? That show is called Next. Of course I watched that show. That show was called Next. So, yeah, they had this queenie gay. And they had these 4 people on a bus. They had this queenie ass gay, and he's down there. And he's like, I'm going to judge who's coming off this bus. And like these hot guys would come off and they'd like try to sell themselves. And this queen would be like, who are you? Next. Hysterical. God, there is some funny shit on there. God. Oh, I need another drink. Klasky123 says, whoa, even I know what Blake's is. If you don't know what Blake's is a meat market. That's what Blake's is. Like, you walk in, you're packed to the gills, you're packed like sardines in there, and then, you walk by and then there's creepy old men touching you and feeling you and being like, oh, you have a nice ass. Oh, look at those arms. Oh, look at that. And I'm like, don't touch me. Leave me alone. Oh, God. Let's see. Oh, Klasky says, my cousin used to live in Midtown. Midtown was a small town. I might even know him. Well, we'll see. Oh, Scooter Jones Rip Screech. Yeah. Saved by the Bell. That was on my... I loved Saved by the Bell in middle school. I would come home and I'd sit at my desk and I would turn on... I would turn on TBS. And there would be 2 episodes of Saved by the Bell. And I would do my homework. And after Saved by the Bell was over, I think that Coach came on, and sometimes I would drag myself through Coach. Mr. Belvedere might have came on at one point, and then maybe it was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which I liked too. That was a really good show as well. But over the years, the different lineup on TBS would change, but I do remember watching 2 hours of Saved by the Bell pretty much every single day after school. And not because of Zach Morris either. Although it totally was because of Zach Morris. Zach Morris, so hot. I haven't watched the Saved by the Bell reboot. I have heard some people say that it's god-awful, but I haven't watched it. And let me tell you why. I'm going to go off on a tangent again. And my tangent is about subscription services. Like, whenever I was a kid, you would pay for cable. And that was that. You got your cable, you're good to go. It was fine. And, like, I'm okay paying for Netflix or even Amazon Prime because, you get the fast delivery and then you get the TV shows that come with it. But now, you gotta pay for the Netflix, you gotta pay for the Amazon, you gotta pay for the PBS Plus, you gotta pay for the CVS, you gotta pay for the Peacock, you gotta pay for the Paramount, you gotta pay for the Stars, you gotta pay for, like, holy crap! Have you ever been nickeled and dimed to death? Like, this is crazy! It's crazy! And no, I refuse to be nickeled and dimed. Like, it's insane. And the reason why I bring that up, actually, is because there was this game. There was this game that I watched what's the name of it? A trailer for. I watched a trailer for it today, and I can't remember the name of the game. I think it was called, like, Fantasion? Something like that. And it's like this, it's called, like, a diorama RPG, and it's 2D, and it's really cool, and it has random encounters, but then it was like, but wait, there's more. You can save up your random encounters and put them in, like, this little random encounter cage or dungeon or something or other. And then whenever you're ready, you can just, like, kill all the random encounters at once. And I was like, that looks freaking cool. Like, that looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, I would love to play that game. But then at the very end, it said that it's for Apple Arcade. And I was like, the fuck is Apple Arcade? What the hell's that? So I go and I look up Apple Arcade, and guess what? It's a subscription service. I'm like, no, I will wait until that shit gets released on iOS or Steam or the inevitable Switch port. Like everything else is getting ported over to Switch. My God. So yeah. Oh God. Okay, where am I at in the comments? Let's see. Theo says, Zach was so hot. He was so hot. Zach and Slater together. Oh my God. Oh, Mia Vox says, what about John Stamos? Oh yeah. He was the only reason to watch Full House. Yeah. Family Matters. I liked Family Matters with Steve Urkel. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. Oh, he says Mario Lopez is harder now than he was back then. Poppy can get it. He is super hot. He's super freaking hot. Mario Lopez is ridiculous. He did not age a day. How do you do that? How do you go through life and you never age? How is that humanly possible? That bitch has not aged one freaking day. I want his skincare routine. I feel like I have a good skincare routine, but my God, I got nothing on him. He's like a vampire juice or something. Michael Swaretsky says, the people want drinking with David every week. I can do it. I can do it. I can drink with you guys every week. Oh, where are we at? People are saying... Mondo No 5 goes, next! Yes, David, yes. Yeah, I'm all about it. Let's see. The comments just jumped. Oh, somebody was talking about John Stamos. Oh, it was James A. Why was he the only reason to watch Full House? Yeah, John Stamos was hot. You weren't watching it for the stupid Olsen twins, I'll tell you that right now. Or maybe Stephanie. Wasn't that the girl's name? Like the annoying neighbor Stephanie. She would pop over. She was cute. I might watch it for her. Speaking of annoying neighbors, what was the... Clarissa Explains It All. There was this show in the early 90s. It had Melissa Joan Hart in it. And I loved me some Clarissa. Who remembers this show? Clarissa Explains It All. And her hot neighbor Sam would come climbing up the ladder into Clarissa's bedroom. And she hated her brother. Her brother's name was like Ferguson? I think the little redhead brother. I don't remember. I think it was Ferguson. She used to call him like Ferguson the Freak or Freakazoid or something. I loved Clarissa Explains It All. That was such a good show. And there was another show on Nickelodeon called... It was a girl show too. There was Clarissa Explains It All. And there was another girl show. And she would morph into like a puddle. Do you remember what I'm talking about? There was this girl, and she would morph into like a puddle, and she would like go under doors. The Secret World of Alex Mack. That's what it was called. And The Secret World of Alex Mack. And she had like 3 superpowers. And I don't remember the other superpowers, but I remember her morphing into a little puddle, and because she got, I don't know if she like got radioactive or if she drank something. There was something that she did where she got like radioactive superpowers. There was 3 other powers, but I don't remember what the other powers were besides her morphing into a little puddle and going around and doing all the... I loved The Secret World of Alex Mack. That was the cutest show. That was adorable. Oh, did she have PSI powers too? Was she able to like move stuff with her mind too? I don't remember. Danny Knight goes, "Are you afraid of the dark?" I actually used to be afraid of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Oh, she used to shock and morph. Alfreda Cumbra says she turned into the cop from Terminator 2. She turned into the cop from Terminator 2. That's funny. Oh God. What was the other one that I was? Oh, Are You Afraid of the Dark? I used to be afraid of Are You Afraid of the Dark because I'm afraid of scary movies, and I talked about Carrie the other night, and how scary Carrie was, and how the hand came out of the grave. And I remember they would do Are You Afraid of the Dark, and they would meet up at midnight at the witching hour in the middle of the woods, and they start telling their story, and they throw the little thing onto the flame, and the flame would burst up, and they'd tell their ghost stories. I liked Are You Afraid of the Dark, but I used to be really afraid of Are You Afraid of the Dark. Oh, donation from Still Alive. Thank you. Oh, and cheers to you, Still Alive. My drink's getting low, and once this drink is over, we're done. Because I have to pee again. Still Alive asks, TMNT versus Power Rangers, question of the ages. Here we are. I'm going to age myself. I remember loving Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a kid. Because Turtles, I want to say, was out in the 80s, maybe, probably late 80s. And I loved Michelangelo, because he's a party dude. And then Power Rangers came out whenever I was in 5th grade. And I remember watching Power Rangers, and I probably only watched like the very first episode where, what was her name? Rita, Morticia, something. She popped up from like a manhole. She literally like popped up from a manhole and came out and then, Power Rangers, I'm gonna get you. And then the Power Rangers went and they fought Madame Woe. And they fought that, and I was like, and I remember watching it in 5th grade and being like, this is so stupid. This is kiddie stuff. If I was in 4th grade, I would like this. But I'm in 5th grade, and I'm really old now, and I don't like this kiddie stuff. But I stuck to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and looking back on that, I feel like a moron. But but yeah. Oh, another donation from Explode Smoke. Cheers. Everyone stop donating. Gotta keep this thing going. I don't even know if I said cheers you for that. No, thank you so much for the donation. Yeah. Oh, her name was Bandora in Japan. I wonder why. Like, okay, they changed a lot of stuff between the Japanese version of Power Rangers and the American version. One thing that I do know is that they had like American characters, like whenever they would show the actual people, but then whenever it went to like the action versions, when they're in their suits, in their Power Ranger suits, it literally just showed the Japanese footage. They were like, we're not going to get new people for this or new stunt doubles or whatever. They literally just sliced in the Japanese footage. Fun fact, Billy, the Blue Ranger, was gay. Probably not relevant to this conversation of old TV shows at all, but yeah, he was gay, and he was bullied a lot on the set, and it's really sad, but he was the one. He stayed. Like he was the original girl. He was an OG of the Power Rangers, and as all the other Power Rangers would leave the show, the Blue Ranger, David Yost, JD Curran Kai just told me David Yost, he stayed on the show, and he was the oldest, like, still remaining member, even though he got bullied mercilessly on the show for being gay in real life. Oh, it's Peter Panda just said Billy left the show for being bullied, and it was messed up. It was bad. I remember as a kid thinking that gay people, like people like me, just didn't exist because there was no people nowadays make fun and they'll be like, why do we need gays on TV? Why do we need representation? But no, it's the truth. I grew up in a time when there was no gay representation. I didn't even know what the word gay meant. I had no idea what it was, what it meant. All I knew was that I was different. I knew that I wasn't like the other boys. I wasn't like the other kids. I always wanted to hang out with the girls, during recess or whatever. I would hang out with the girls. I just knew that I was different. And I didn't know why, because there was no representation on television whatsoever. It really wasn't until like Will and Grace came out that there was any sort of representation at all. And that came out, I want to say in like 98. And by that point, like we had somewhat of the internet, but there was, I'm telling you, there was a time period, like maybe in the early 80s, there was some representation back then, maybe on like soap or something. But there was a period between about like 86 and 98 where there was no representation on television whatsoever. There was nothing. And that to me was my childhood, my puberty, my growing up phase, whenever I was trying to come to terms with it, and I had nothing to really look to or to see. There was nothing. Yeah, Murphy just mentioned Three's Company, kind of, but Three's Company was in the 70s, and that wasn't on TV and like repeats or anything in the 80s whenever I was watching TV. So there really was, nothing. There was just nothing at all. Nuclear Sandwich just mentioned that AIDS kind of put a large stigma on homosexuality back in the 80s, and they just pretty much quit with any kind of representation that they had in the 70s. It was done in the 80s. It was just done. And then it didn't start back again until maybe the very, very, very late 90s. Even on shows, like very popular shows that I used to watch as a child. Cheers. I used to watch Cheers as a child. I don't remember any gay representation on that. Seinfeld. Nothing. Frasier. Friends. Nothing. Even on a show, I'm going to age myself. Even on a show like Just Shoot Me. Who remembers Just Shoot Me? That shit was hysterical. Even on a show like that, where you would think that there might be some sort of gay representation, because it took place at a fashion magazine, everybody was straight. Like, there was no representation during that time period. Joseph just mentioned the Golden Girls, and there was a character, Coco, who was gay on the Golden Girls, and he was on the pilot, and then he was done, gone. He was just gone. So yeah. Just Shoot Me was the one with David Spade. Yeah. God. Smithers. Here's the thing. Still Alive just mentioned Smithers on The Simpsons. Did they? Maybe nowadays they've come out and said, yes, Smithers is gay. But back when, it was just more of a joke. It wasn't that he was a gay, proud gay man. It was more of a joke. Oh, he's in love with Mr. Burns. It wasn't true representation. I don't know. But with that, I have had a lot of fun with you guys. My drink is empty. I have loved talking to you guys about random crap, whatever, about all the shit on this list, about all these weird TV shows, about my childhood, about Dawson's Creek. Jack was so hot. But again, Dawson's Creek didn't come out till like 96. Jack didn't come out till like 98. It was just like, there was a period between like late 80s and like 98. Tales in the City, we weren't allowed to watch that, and you had to subscribe to HBO, and we were too damn poor to subscribe to HBO. Yeah. But anyway, I gotta pee my brains out. I'm gonna go. This has been so much fun. I am drunk out of my mind right now. I still have a little bit more work to do for school tomorrow, and it has been fun. I will not be on stream with you tomorrow because Ken comes home, but I will do a stream on over the weekend because that's I like doing the streams. They're so much fun. Oh, thank you, Blue Smoke. Thank you. Can't wait for the stream. Thank you so much. I had so much fun. This is so much fun. This is my favorite thing to do now. This is my favorite thing to. Oh my. I'm gonna leave it at this. Ken Myers, my husband, has entered the stream and said someone is going to owe me a bunch of Jack Daniels. My husband is in the stream. Say hello to Ken Myers. He is here. I am drunk. I'm gonna go pee. You guys have a good one. Thank you so much. Look forward to my top 10 best RPGs of my famous franchises. I can't even talk. Coming up on Saturday. We'll drink again next week. See me for a stream on Saturday. Have fun, y'all. I'm gonna go pee. God, I gotta pee. Bye.